Okay, so let us begin with today's class. Uh, we have finished the chapters introduction, the chapters on asymptotic notations, and the chapter on array. After this, we will be focusing on the chapter of searching and sorting. Okay, so two searching methods are included in your syllabus. One is the linear search, next one is the binary search. Now, how will I proceed is from now onwards, I will be writing the algorithm, I will be explaining the algorithm and all. If possible, I will share the screen and do the programming, and if not possible, I won't be doing that because now I need to do hurry up a bit because already 1 month and has passed, so I need to complete my syllabus also. So first topic which I will start is linear search. Okay, 1 minute. So, in order to perform the searching, I need to have two things. First thing is I need to have the array and I need to have an element value which I am going to search. So, for my algorithm, two inputs will be there. One will be the array which I am going to search in, another is the element which I am going to search for. Okay, I am going to search in the array for an element. So suppose I am using one search function. In that search function, how many inputs will I give? I will give two inputs. One input will be the array. Suppose my array is of integers. Another input will be the element with which I am searching for. Suppose if I have an integer array, my element which I am searching for will also be an integer. Otherwise, I won't get it in the array. It may happen I won't get it. But at least the data type must be same in order to initiate the search process. Now, if I have an integer array, if I have an element which is being searched for, which is also an integer, so at the end, when I will return the value, whether I have found the element or not, so this will be a yes or no. Suppose if I have found the element 1 or if I have not found the element 0, so the output from this search operation will also be an integer because it will return the type of the variable which I am going to search. If it is found, it will be 1. If it is not found, it will be 0. Right? Suppose now this search condition or the searching algorithm, it will go for entire of my array starting from the 0th position to the last position of my array. Entire array I will search. So how do I traverse entire array? We do a for loop. Now remember, I am writing the algorithm. Okay, this is the way we write the constructs of algorithm. I am not writing C program because if I write C program, I will define I, initialize I, and all those things. I am writing the logic part, the algorithm part. Okay, which we need to implement in C. So our I is runs for array dot length, right? I is less than equal to array dot length, and in the process it is I plus plus. So this is the loop which will help me to traverse my array, that is go through the array. Now inside this, when I am traversing, what I am doing, I have been supplied with an element x and I am checking. Suppose I have this my array, I am going to search for the element 17. So the value of x is 17. Suppose these are the places. Suppose here it is 2, here it is 8, here it is 17, here it is 32, here it is 1. Suppose. And my array indexes are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So I will start from here, I equal to 0. I will match. Is my I equal to 0 location is equal to 17? No. I will do I plus plus. I will match. If my I equal to 1 location is equal to 17? No. I will do I plus plus. I will go. If is my I equal to 2 location, the value it has equal to 17? Yes. So if I get a yes, I will return the location of my array. And since if I return the location of my array, if it is found, these locations are always integer type 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Indices are integer values. So here I have a return type of int. So what I am searching inside this, I am tallying and checking whether the elements which I have at array location I, starting from I0, I1, I2, whether it is equal to my element or not. Okay, this is a equality operator, double equal to. This will do what? It will check 2 is equal to 17. No. Then 8 is equal to 17. No. Then 17 is equal to 1 minute.
Yes.
So शोभा तुम बस तुम्हारा ये ऑफ कर दो वीडियो, हाँ, क्योंकि ये मेरा स्क्रीन के ऊपर आ जा रहे. 17 is equal to 17. Yes. So this is a equality operator. It is not similar to assignment operator. If I would have used this thing, what it would do, whenever I have one location, it will save this value in this location. This value is being saved. So this will be changed to 17, this will be changed to 17, this will be changed to 17. So this is assignment operator and this is equal to operator. So inside this I am checking. If it is found to be true, I will return the location. So I will return I will give me that index location, right? And if it is not found true, I will go on repeating, and at the end, I will just get out of my loop. Fine. And if suppose anything is not found, I will just return a -1. Sorry, just I will just return a -1 to indicate that nothing has been returned. Okay. So this is the concept of my linear search. I start with the array as give input to the algorithm. I give one element as input to the algorithm. I traverse the entire array. In between, I check for any equality, that is for every location value located at this location in my array, I check whether it is equal to the element I am searching for. If I have searched the element, if it is true, I will return my location in my array where the element has been searched. Fine. So, and if it is not true, I will simply return -1 to indicate that I have not been able to search anything. Fine. Now this is the about the concept. 1 minute, I will just rub a few things. Now how from an algorithm we find out the time complexity. Now you tell me, how many times will this entire for loop run? Okay, fine. this for loop has 3 sections, right? So this is one section, this is another section, this is another section, right? So 3 sections are there. So first, this part will execute how many times? This part I equal to 0.
One time.
This initialization part is executed how many times in any
First
algorithm?
time.
Huh?
Size minus 1, ma'am.
No. Initialization, how many
One time,
times?
ma'am.
Yes, Rashid, you are right, one time. We always initialize only one time. Any value which we are initializing, we initialize one time. The loop is, the flow of the loop is from here to here, then here to here, then here to here. This loop goes on. But this is executed only one time. So fine, this is executed one time. Plus, this part is executed how many times? This part is
Size minus 1 time, ma'am.
right, n minus 1 time.
मैम कंडीशन पे डिपेंड करता है ना.
हाँ, कंडीशन पे डिपेंड करेगा, बट तुम्हारा जो लूप का कंडीशन है, तुम जो वैल्यू n का डालोगे उस हिसाब से ही तो वो तुम्हारा n चलेगा. तुम जो भी कंडीशन दो, मैक्सिमम कितना बार हो सकता है?
मैम n minus 1.
n minus 1, right. And one time more ये लूप चलता है ना? क्यों चलता है बोलो तो? तुम लूप का कॉन्सेप्ट हम बोल रहे. ये for this loop to be true, you run it for n minus 1 locations, and another time you do it I plus plus. For next time तुम्हारा I plus plus करने के बाद your loop comes out of this entire for loop. नहीं तो तुम तो फॉर लूप पे तुम लोग रह ही जाओगे. तुम्हारा फॉर लूप से तुम लोग बाहर कैसे निकलते हो? तुम लोग आई प्लस प्लस करते जाते हो. व्हेन तुम्हारा कंडीशन फॉल्स होता है, दैट मीन्स यू हैव रिच्ड द एंड ऑफ योर एरे, देन यू कम आउट ऑफ दिस फॉर लूप, राइट? सो n minus 1 तक
Yes,
तो तुम्हारा लूप चलता है, and this condition is executed one more time to come out of the loop, right? So तुम्हारा n minus 1 plus 1 नहीं हो जाएगा? ये कंडीशन कितना बार चलेगा?
Yes, ma'am.
कंडीशन तो तुम्हारा क्या बोलते हैं, तुम्हारा तो उतना बार ही चलेगा, +1 तक चलेगा. क्योंकि जब तक तुम लोग ट्रू पाते हो
Yes, ma'am.
कंडीशन, तुम लोग इस लूप के अंदर घुसते जाते हो. जब तुम्हारा कंडीशन फॉल्स होता है, you come out of this entire for loop. So for that instance of the condition to be false, you check these things. You check the condition one more time. So this will give you n number of times, and this I plus plus also is executed n number of times. Right from the starting, it gets on executed. Right? If I plus plus is executed n number of times, I am matching this position for all the values. For all values of i's, I am matching this position. First location, second location, third location, fourth location, all items I am matching. So if I have n elements in my array, I am executing this statement for n number of elements, right? I am matching with n number of elements. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And if suppose I am getting the answer, so I will return it. So this return will execute one time. If I get the answer, then only I will return. I am not returning for all the elements. I will return for only one element, that there will be that there will be my element found. So this is executed one time. This is executed n number times. This is executed one time. This is executed n, and this is n minus 1 plus 1, which gives us n. So this is all thing that is executed, and at last this statement will also execute maximum of one time if I do not have the elements. So if all these things are false, I mean if this thing is false, then I will get 1 from here. In any of the cases, even if I found the element, even if I do not found the element, this checking is executed for n number of times. I go on checking. So all these things, if I sum up, what will I have? 1 plus n plus n plus n plus 1 plus 1. So 3 ones give me 3 and 3 n's give me 3n. So 3n plus 3. So if I see about the time complexity, it will give me 3n plus 3. And we have just learned that we take the most dominant term which affects our growth of algorithm. So this 3 constant I will ignore, and in this 3n we take the exponent dominant term. The dominant term is n. We have learned this already in asymptotic notations. So if you look, the linear search time complexity is order of n. Now you understand how they get this n?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear how they get this n?
Ma'am, explain the last line, ma'am.
अच्छा, और एक बार एक्सप्लेन करते हैं. अच्छा, हम लोग एल्गोरिदम में कैसे टाइम कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी निकालते थे, एक बार अच्छे से ध्यान से देखना. दिस इज द एल्गोरिदम यू हैव. यू नीड टू सेक्शन इट कि हर एक स्टेटमेंट हाउ मेनी टाइम्स इट इज बीइंग एग्जीक्यूटेड. If this entire section have 3 statements, right, separated by semicolons, this is the initialization part. I equal to 0, a equal to something, b equal to something. These initializations or declarations in my entire algorithms always be one time, because for each and every step I do not declare I to be 0. I declare I to be 0 just for the starting, so that I can indicate that my index location is 0 and this array I will start counting from 0th location. So this statement is executed one time. Next, this entire loop is executed n times, okay, for n elements. For each, do not think this as index. Now just think in the concept of number of elements. Think it in the concept of number of elements. Okay? And even if you want to think it, okay, fine. Think it as indexes. So if this portion, how many times does it runs? It runs for n minus 1 indices. Any loop will run from 0 to n minus 1, and n minus 1 till n minus 1, your condition is always true. So you enter into the for loop, you do the checking, you find out if it is matching yes or no, fine. But at the end, always to come out of the loop, you always increment I plus plus. See, this is our array. If this is our array, suppose this is the thing. 0, 1, 2, 3. Suppose I have a few elements. I will start with 0. 0 is less than 4. Yes, true. Do something. 1 is I plus plus. 1 is less than 4. Do yes, true. Enter. Do something. I plus plus. 2 is less than 4. Yes, true. Do something. I plus plus. 3 is less than 4. Yes, do something. True. I plus plus. Last step you also do I plus plus. Then your I goes to 4. 4 is less than 4? No. So for getting out any for loop condition, I again do one increment and I again do one checking to get a false answer. So that otherwise my loop will continue for infinite times. I will be trapped inside my loop. So to get out of the loop, I do one more step. So this one is for that. So this condition actually runs for n minus 1 plus 1, which gives us n number of times. And similarly, this condition also runs for n number of times. Because I plus plus, you do one extra for this 4, right? So this also runs for n number of times. Now, when my entire, for each of the element, for all the elements n, I had to do the checking. I had to check whether this is equal to 7 or this is 17 or this is 17 or this is 17. So this checking part I had to do for all the n number of elements in my array. So this section of, or this line will of code will run for n number of times. Depending on what is the value of n I am inputting as a user. If I give it as 6, it will be 6. If I give it as 11 elements, it will be 11 elements. If I give it 20 elements, this loop will run for 20 number of elements. Fine. And if my answer is true in any of the sections, I will return that location. So my answer can be true for one time, because this is not the code I am doing for duplicate elements. Single linear search algorithm I am showing. Single elements, not for duplicate elements. Separate code is there for duplicate elements. Okay. So if in any of these 4 elements, one time only I will found that yes, that element is present. So this condition will execute only one time. Whatever be my number of elements, I will found maybe I will found the element maximum one time. And if any case I do not found the elements, so this loop will run maximum one time. Suppose I do up to this thing, I run my algorithm, I go on checking for all the elements, matching for all the elements, go on, and I do not get this thing. So my array, in my array, my element is not present. So I will return -1. So if in my entire array, I do not get the element, at that moment I will return or execute this statement. So this statement may be executed maximum of one time in the worst case that my element which I am searching is not present in the array. So this also will be executed one time. So if I sum up all these things, 1 plus 1 plus 1 gives us 3 and n plus n plus n gives us 3n. We have already studied in asymptotic notations that we always take the dominant term which affects our growth of the algorithm, and growth of the algorithms are always in the terms of n. So I will not consider or ignore this constant term. I will ignore this constant term, and this will give me order of only n. If in doing the equations or in adding up, I see that it is something in the order of 3n square plus 3, then my order would have been order of n square. Okay. So this is the entire. Sorry, my video got, my Zoom got disconnected. So now did you get it? How this algorithm is framed, how this algorithm is working, and how from algorithms we find out the time complexities of those algorithms. Now is it clear? Who has asked to who asked me to explain once more? Is it clear? Yes or no? Yes or no? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so let us do this one, so that this is the first algorithm which I am explaining. It may be a bit difficult, so I will just try to explain or to show the first one so that you understand better.
आवाज नहीं आ रहा है मैम।
अभी तो कुछ कर बोल नहीं रहे हैं। Okay. So the first thing is how do we perform this linear search? First, there will be enter the number of elements in my array, right? I take the elements. Okay, wait, I will just share the attendance today because today a lot of problem is happening. So in the last moment, if attendance issue comes, so wait, I will just share the attendance first. If people mark your attendance, then we will continue with the class. Everyone, please mark your attendance first. So is there anyone who has not been able to mark the attendance? Is there anyone who has not been able to mark the attendance?
No, ma'am.
Sirf
No,
Priyanka,
ma'am.
Sachin Shaw, and else? Anyone else? Okay. So I am just stopping the share because I will have to do the program also. This two person who is not being able to mark the attendance, only you to write your name hyphen department in the chat box. Okay. I will give you manually.
मैम हो गया मैम अभी
Fine. अगर नहीं होता है तो
Done.
लिख दो. I will give you manually. So here I need to take the number of elements I wish to enter in my array. After doing that, what do? We take the elements. So they generally giving enter the elements. Fine. ये करने के बाद we run a loop. So that loop goes for I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. We run a loop, and inside that loop we do what? We take the elements, right? These things we all know, right? And since I have I need to first declare my array, then I need to declare the variable which I am handling. Fine. Okay. So up to this we have done. Okay, I need to declare n also. I haven't declared n. Fine. So all these things we have done. After that, we need to enter the element which we are searching. So I am just doing enter the element you wish to search for. Fine. Suppose this element I will take in the variable num. Fine. Since I have taken num, I need to declare num as well. Fine. Now, what was our logic? We ran a loop for our entire array, and inside that loop, we checked if it is true. What will I do? I will return I. So the value of I which I am having need to be placed in some other variable. So suppose position, POS is that variable where I am saving the index location. So I need to declare POS as well. So I have done that. Now, if it is at all that element is found, I will just write this that this element is found at some position. So the element is num, and that position will be your I. right? So if it is found, it will print, and if this is print, it will come out of this loop because I have found the element, and that is. And if at all it is not found, that is I am setting mount one counter. If found is equal to 0, that means my element is not found. So initially my found counter will be 0. If my element is found, my found counter will be automatically upgraded to 1. If my element is not found,